Good morning, Big Country Hockey Time, version 4, the very latest, newest edition. We're playing Rodney's historical teams. I'm playing the 2011 Stanley Cup Game 1. I'll play the whole series, but in this video, Game 1, Boston Bruins and the Vancouver Canucks. This was widely considered one of the greatest Stanley Cups, at least in modern history. In real life, Boston won this series 4-3. Game 1 was a slugfest. Vancouver won it 1-0. Boston lost that first game. So here we go. These teams both feature brilliant defensive groups and, of course, two solid goalies. Thomas was actually the best goalie in the NHL that year, according to my research. However, he's only a 1-rated goalie, so this could be higher scoring than the real-life Vancouver Canucks. All right, we're going to start it off. I don't do face-offs. You could do a random face-off to start who starts the period. Remember, this is very much segment-by-segment linear, but it's very abstract in that we're simulating about 6.5 minutes per roll for each line. So, line 1 for Boston on the ice. We're going to be looking at Bergeron with the puck with a chance at a shot on goal. He's going to be facing Edler on the second line. So he's going to be facing Edler. So we got 3 versus 4 is a -1 shot. -1 shot for Bergeron. -1, and he will not get a shot. And he is not a power play shooter. So Bergeron, Boston's first segment done. Edler has earned PK, or he will get the PK at the end of the period along with Ehrhoff. All right, and if I mispronounce any of these, forgive me. These aren't names that I have heard a million times. So, all right, Vancouver's first segment is going to be Sedin, and it will be Daniel Sedin, and he has a power play chance. Going to be facing the second defensive line, and it's Seidenberg. Wow. So 3+ versus 3+ is 0. And 0, he has a 50% chance to get a shot off. He will not, and he is not injured, luckily. And again, we automatically do his second shot power play and see if he gets it. And he does get a second power play shot, so we're going to make a note of this here. Daniel Sedin with a power play shot on goal, and the defense. And then how does that work? Very simple. We look at the offensive players rating, 4 versus the goalie. It's going to be a +3 chance. It's a very good chance for a power play goal for Daniel Sedin. Oh, and there it is, folks. It's going to be a goal for Sedin. If you want to determine things like assists and that, you're free to roll dice and figure all that out. I do not provide ways of doing that. The game is about a quick play, shots on goal. So you could do assists your own way. And also, shots on goal, you could do a random roll at the end of every period and add it to your actual shots on goal to get your totals, just for the heck of it. But those are all entirely up to you. All right, line 2. So look at this. In the first 6.5 minutes, we're going to get a couple of shots by Daniel Sedin. One, actually, he did not get a shot, but the second one, he did get a power play shot, and he put it on net, and the goalie could not stop it. Boston's second line. We're looking at Ricci. You're going to have to forgive me if I butcher these again. It's going to be the second defensive line, and it's Edler again. So Edler's going to get... We already know the PK shots come at the end of the period, so we don't worry about that right now. So 2 versus 4 is -2. Does he get a shot off? He does not. And he is not a power play shooter, so no power play shot. Boston being stymied by this Vancouver team right now. Vancouver's second line, we're looking at Burrows. He's a power play shooter. We're looking at the first line, and that's Kara. He's a 5 versus Burrows 3, so -2 shot for Burrows. -2 will be no shot, and he gets a second immediately as a power play. No. So Vancouver gets nothing in the second. And then the third stanza, The final 6 minutes of the first period. Boston goes to work. It's going to be Thornton versus the second line defense, Edler. Man, Edler has been, so if you were tracking points, if you wanted to, you could literally show Edler ticking up points as he showed up in all 3 phases. So he is the most active defensive player as Edler's shown up all 3 times, which is outstanding. So we're going to get 2 versus 4. It's a -2 chance as Edler by himself has held down Boston. And 4 is no shot. He does not have a power play shot. So Boston has been stymied. They will get their shorthanded shot chances, but we do that at the very end of the period. Vancouver, so it's not over yet. There could still be a score by Boston and a shorthanded goal. It's going to be Malhada versus Boychuk. Oh no, Kara again. So Kara's playing well. So, 3. Man, let's get this right. 3 is Malhada. 3 over here, defensive line. It's Boychuk. So Boychuk 3. So 2 is going to be -2 shot for Malhada. 5 -2 is a shot. So let's make note here. Vancouver's Malhada with a normal shot on goal. 2 versus, so he's going to be at +1. He's got a good chance here, folks. And he will get injured. Oh no, he's injured. Shot on goal. Save by Thomas, and an injury. That is our only injury allowed now against Vancouver. They have lost Malhada. So Malhada out. So we're going to come down here and put injuries. Malhada is out with an injury. He did that on a non-power play goal. It's just a straight shot, and he's going to be replaced by Torres, who is a 1+. So he'll have a power play chance. That's awesome when he's in. So that ends that. Now we got to do our penalty kill shot. So very simple. We know that I've selected pre-game who my power play and penalty kill shooters are. So you don't get to just roll, and not any plus gets a PK shot. I select them for pre-game. So Kara versus Ehrhoff, and you have to match them up against their rival on defense. So Kara and Ehrhoff are equal, so it's going to be a +0 shot. He's got to earn a shot, and then the goalie gets the straight chance with no effect by the defensive players. Don't get to add an offensive to the shot. And 2, he will not get his shot off. So we're going to go Ehrhoff, same thing. He has a 0 chance. Ehrhoff will not get a short-handed goal. And then we got Seidenberg at 3+ versus Edler at 3+. Again, 0 chance for Seidenberg. Injured. Oh, there's their injury. Seidenberg in, and oh my God, they lost one of their absolute best defenders. Seidenberg injured. Out. Wow, he's replaced by McQuaid. And McQuaid is a 3, not bad. So Seidenberg, though, had his shot chance, and on that shorthanded penalty kill, he actually got hurt. He's out for the game, and all injuries are done now. There will be no more chances at injury. You can only suffer 1 against your team. So we get to get the shot for Edler. So Edler could be a hero. Sedin got a power play goal for Vancouver. Edler could add a shorthanded goal. Does he get a shot? Nope, he's injured, can't be injured. They've already suffered their injury. And that's it, folks. We're going to wrap up the first period. Boston 0, Sedin 1. Vancouver's Daniel Sedin with a power play goal. Malhada had a shot on goal, save, and he was injured. And then, of course, we've had Seidenberg on a shorthanded goal attempt, got injured. Unbelievable. Now, just for the hell of it, I like to add shots on goal. So Boston, 7. So they had 7 shots on goal in that period. So they were stymied by Vancouver. Vancouver, we know, had, oh my God, 4 shots on goal. That's crazy. I rolled snake eyes. So 2, and we had 1 shot power play, 1 shot save. Remember, they're not shots unless it says shots, and PKs are automatically against the goalie's rating. If you get one, neither team got one. So 3, 4, 5. Let me see here. 4 shots on goal. total, wow, defensive hockey. Vancouver up 1-0. Boston has had more shots on goal, but actual gameplay shots on goal, Vancouver ended up scoring a goal. Holy cow. All right, starting the second period, I'm going to stay with Boston, keep my head straight. And it is 1-0 hometown Vancouver. All right, 5. This is going to be Ryder. He gets a power play shot. We're going to be looking at the second defensive line. Hamhuis is going to be defending him. So 3 versus 4 is a -1. Shot on goal, or chance for a shot. Yes, he does get a shot on goal. So this is going to be Ryder. Shot on goal. And that's going to be 3 versus 1. So +2 shot on goal. And 4, he is going to score on plus. Let's see here. 3, 1 is +2. 4, he does score. And he automatically gets a power play chance. Same chance at a minus. Hamhuis, right? Was the. No, it was. Yeah, it was Hamhuis. So -2, and he will not get his power play shot. But Ryder with a shot on goal, and he scores, makes it 1-1. Boston Bruins have knotted it up early in the second. Vancouver's looking at Samuelsson with a 3 versus the top line, and that's Boychuk. So 3 versus 4 is -1 shot for Samuelsson. And yes, he's going to get a shot, so we're going to put here Samuelsson with a shot on goal. Samuelsson is not a power play shooter, so he won't have a power play shot, but he does have a chance to make this interesting. He's a 3, so a +2. He just needs a 1 through 4 to score. 4, Samuelsson with a goal. Holy cow, folks. It is 2-1 Vancouver at home leading Boston. Second segment, line 2. 4 is Horton. He's a power play shooter versus the first line. Ehrhoff is a stud. So 3 versus 5 is -2. And there will be an injury. Can happen. He gets his power play shot on -2. He will not. So they're completely aced in the second segment, or Boston, by this brilliant defense. Vancouver's second line is Volpatti. 4. Volpatti is their worst player. He's going to be facing. Seidenberg's out, so it's going to be McQuaid. So we got 1 versus 3, -2 shot on goal. He will not get a shot for Vancouver, and neither one of these guys is a power play shooter. And we're off to the third line. Boston down 2-1. Boston's going to see Marchand of Boston. He's a 2 versus second defense line. Edler again. What a stud. Edler has been all over the ice for Vancouver. What a stud. 2 versus 4 is a -2 shot. Edler's keeping him down by his lonesome. And again, Marchand does not have a power play chance. And last but not least, Vancouver's final segment of the second is going to see final segment. This is the third line. It's going to be Anderson. He's a 1+ power play shooter versus Boychuk. So 2 versus 4 is -2 shot chance. And he will get it. Oh, no. Get out of here. Anderson on the third line. Shot on goal. And again, we're going to be looking at shot on goal is the goalie. So it's 2 versus 1 is a +1. And he will not score. So it's going to be a save. But he also gets a power play shot. And he will not get a power play shot. So that's it. That wraps up the second. Boston scores 1. How many shots on goal did Boston get? 6 plus the 1. They got another 7 shots on goal in that quarter. And Vancouver gets 4, 5, 6 shots on goal. And they have scored 2 goals. Let's see here. 1 in that one and goal. So they've got 2, 4, 5, 6. Wow. So currently it's 14 shots on goal, 1 goal for Boston. Ryder scored early for them. Vancouver's had a total of 10 shots on goal. They've scored 2 goals. So it's currently 2-1 going into the final period in this very defensive game. Vancouver's Edler has been an absolute stud. I mean, I should just have a stat sheet so I could track how often Edler's messed up or has put himself between shot chance. All right, Boston Bruins starting the third. It's going to be Ryder again who scored for him, so that's good news. It's going to be the first defensive line, and it's going to be Bieksa. I think that's how you say that. Bieksa is a 4. So 3 versus 4 is a -1 shot. He will not. And he does have a power play shot, so he will not get that first shot. Does he get a power play chance? Again, same thing, -2. And no, he will not. So there's no power play shot either for Ryder. All right, Vancouver leading 2-1 in the third, and their first chance is Samuelsson versus Kara again. 5 versus Samuelsson's 3 is -2, and he will not. And Samuelsson is not a power play shooter, so that wraps up the first segment of the third period. Second segment for Boston is going to be Horton. He's a 2+ power play shooter versus Ehrhoff. There he is, 5-2, so -3 shot. Excuse me, a 5 and 3, a -2 shot for Horton. 3, nope, not going to get it. Does he get his power play shot? He does not. Holy cow. The defense of Vancouver is dominating. 2, this is going to be in line 2. It's going to be Burrows, 2+ power play shooter, versus Kara, 5, so -2. And he would have been injured, but can't. He's already suffered his injury. And so that is a power play shot now for Burrows. And no, wow, unbelievable. Stymied. Final chances here for the normal offenses. Then we'll get to our power play shots. Oh, did I forget my penalty kill? I did. Second period, I forgot my penalty kill shots. We're going to have to go back and do those in a second. We know there's zeros. Let's do those real quick. We know the matchups. So 0 is a shot on goal for Kara, and he does not score. Ehrhoff, no shot on goal. And last but not least, it was, we don't have one. McQuaid does not have one, so it would be Edler with a +1 shot on goal. He will get a shot on goal for Vancouver, and Edler actually scored. Oh man, we had a PK goal, sorry. PK goal for Edler, and that's going to make it 2 goals and 7 shots. There we go. Sorry about that. So I messed that up. So we had a shorthanded goal by Edler, who's had a brilliant, no doubt he would be the man of the game. He would be the first star, as Edler has been involved in almost every defensive matchup, and he has scored a shorthanded goal. All right, we're in the final line. Let's finish this up now. We're in the final line for Boston of the game. It's going to be Thornton, who cannot get a power play shorthanded goal. That's too bad. Versus Bieksa again. So -2 and no shot. Unbelievable. He does not get a power play chance. Vancouver's final offensive performance is going to be Anderson versus second line defender Ferenc. It's going to be 2 -1 chance. And he will get a shot on goal. So Anderson's a stud. He's going to get his second shot on goal. Highlight. He did not score last time. Let's see if he does this time. +1 chance. And yes, Anderson will score goal. And that's going to put the game away just about. All right, we know that Chara and Ehrhoff 0. Yep, Kara gets a shot on goal. And he's going to make a shorthanded goal. PK. I think it's Kara, but I don't know how to pronounce it. I really don't. If it's Chara or Kara. Either way, he's going to score a goal. Wow. And Ehrhoff is going to get a shot on goal. And he will fail to score. No score there. Last but not least, Seidenberg's injured, so we don't have one there, but Edler will get his shot. Edler is going to be shooting at +1. And he will not get a shot on goal. There we go. Let's wrap this up. So let's wrap up the shots. So we do get another goal here. and we're going to have 9, 10 shots on goal in the final stanza, a final period for Boston, and it won't be enough. Anderson gets a shot on goal. Let's roll for Vancouver. Gets 8, 9. So Vancouver is going to score another goal, and they're going to get 9 shots on goal in the final. That's pretty good. So the total for this game, Boston 1, 2. So Boston 2, Vancouver 1, 2, 3, 4. And shots on goal, 7, 14, 24. It's a little low, but that's okay. Again, this is an abstract game. 4, 11, 20 shots. So they had 20 shots on goal, scored 4 goals. And again, Boston with 24 shots on goal and scored 2 goals. So the first game, 0, 1, and then we get 1, and we score goal, and Edler got a shorthanded goal. Edler stud, 3. And then Kara added a goal, and then Anderson, who had a shot in the second, but it was saved, and a power play shot didn't go through. Anderson had a shot on goal, power play, scored. And folks, the final here, 4-2. Vancouver will take a 1-0 lead in the series. In real life, Vancouver, again, shut down Boston 1-0. Here, it's 4-2. Very, very good. And remember, I'm doing this, so I'm using Rodney's rated players, but I preset the lines, and I predetermined which guys get their power play, which guys get their penalty kill. If you don't do that, you're going to have way too many special teams scores. You're going to have way too many shorthanded goals, especially. Because remember, defensive players roll against the goalie, right? So this would be a -1 roll. Defensive players do not get to use their value when they get their shorthanded. They get an automatic shot chance, but if it gets through, it's just the goalie. The offensive players against the goalie get to add their rating in the aftermath. So shorthanded goals can be a little high if you're not careful. If you give every single player who gets a plus a shorthanded chance or a power play chance, you're going to get too many special team chances. But that's my take. However, feel free to do it. But I'm afraid you might see more defensive scores, which again, it won't break the game. It might just seem a little weird. So there you go. But that's how I did it. So I did it. So rules is written. You get 13 skaters and 2 right. So I took the things and I set them up in their lines with their 2 defensive lines, right? And I allotted who would get those power play chances if they rolled up, instead of every single plus player getting a power play chance. You could. The offensive guys could still get all those power play chances. It wouldn't break the game. But on defense, if you're not careful, you'll get 4 or 5 shorthanded shot chances at the end of every period, and it just gets a little high. Remember, these are 6.5 minute segments, so your shot percentages don't correlate to individual players' shot chances. They correlate to how many legit scoring chances occur in that 6.5 minutes, which is why the goalie numbers are higher, because again, this isn't a goalie save percentage. This is a chance that these higher percentage of shots in that 6 minutes get through to score a goal. So you do not want to look at this as how often players get shots on goal, and you don't want to look at this as save percentage. They are, again, this is abstracted in almost 7-minute chunks of time. So you just want to realize that you're actually getting higher shot chances and you're getting higher goal chances because we're truncating so much into 6.5 minute segments. 640, I don't know. What is 20 divided by 3? Right? That's about 6.3337, or I don't know what it is. And then I just roll at the end of every to simulate shots on goal that occurred and so it's a little low, but if I had rolled high, it would be right on. So 24 shots on goal. I also count up the real shots on goal, and we get 2 goals for Boston, and then 20 shots on goal for Vancouver, but they pull 4 goals out of that against the league. In 2011, the number 1 goalie in all of hockey was Thomas, and they had a good night against Thomas. In real life, just so you know, it's kind of fun. In real life, Vancouver against Thomas scored 1. Then they scored 3 in overtime in that win, and then they scored 1. So the reality is, and then of course they scored 2 in a loss. So the most goals they had the entire series was 3 in an overtime for Vancouver win. So this is pretty good, as they've already scored more in this game than they did on Thomas in that series in any one game. The total series, Vancouver scored 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in 7 games. So they averaged a goal a game. Here they're already way ahead. Boston, on the other hand, was shut out once, twice. Boston was shut out twice. However, Boston had an 8-1 game, a 4-0 game, a 5-2 game, and a 4-0 game, a championship winner. So Boston was definitely a more offensive team, or I should say maybe Luongo in net, not as good as Thomas. I don't know, but in real life, again, I'm talking about the real life stuff. It's so far in my series. What is that? He stopped 22 of 24 shots. So I don't know what that percentage is on my calculator here. And Thomas only stopped, he only stopped a fifth of the shots on goal. So Vancouver played great hockey and set up good shots on goal. That's what that tells me. They were careful with it, but when they got them, they set up good shots. Somehow getting Thomas off his spot, right? That's what that tells me. And we had the shorthanded goal, Edler. Again, no doubt, if I had been tracking how many times Edler showed up to try to stop a block a shot or to interfere with a shot attempt, Edler showed up the most of any defensive player, and he also scored a shorthanded goal. So Edler would definitely be the first star of this game. Second star would probably be Anderson, as he had obviously point-wise. Daniel Sedin had a power play goal. Sedin, excuse me. We had a couple of injuries early, right? We lost Sedenberg, and we lost Malhotra. So pretty cool. All right, everybody, have a fantastic weekend. Bye-bye.